Welcome back to the PBC. I got that breaking news for my brothers and sisters out there, giving you that breaking news from the PBC satellites from outer space. We got a dog fighting arrest coming from the West Coast today. And big thank you and big shout out to everybody that been watching the channel, that been watching the videos that I dropped earlier from the update from Twigg County, Georgia, with the 19 fellas, the update on that, and the puppy video that I did with the puppies, taking them out on their second day out. Big thank you to all the brothers and sisters that just subscribed to the channel. They hit that like button up. You know what I'm saying? I got some breaking news, like I said, coming from Los Angeles, California. A brother was arrested for dog fighting, and he was arrested for dog fighting and a little more. So what I'm going to do is let you get into that article, man. Hope everybody having a great evening, great day, great morning. Just depends on when you're watching this video, what time you're watching it, and what continent you're watching it from. Let's get into this news, man. You know where you got it from first. Let's go.
The PBC satellite's outer space is bringing dog news fresh off the press. A Hacienda Heights man arrested and charged with running dog fighting venture and with illegal firearms possession. A Hacienda Heights man was arrested today on a federal criminal complaint charging him with hosting dog fights and illegally breeding, training, and exhibiting dogs for use in such fights. Raymond Nunez, 53, is charged with buying, delivering, and possessing animals for an animal fighting venture, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Nunez was arrested this morning and is scheduled to make his initial appearance this afternoon in United States District Court in downtown Los Angeles. According to the complaint, from at least December 2025 to February 2026, Nunez illegally exhibited, bred, and trained dogs for dogfighting at his home in Hacienda Heights. He also possessed firearms, which he is not legally permitted to do because of his felony conviction in Los Angeles Superior Court in 1991 for unlawful taking of a vehicle. On Tuesday, federal agents executed a search warrant at Nunez's home and seized, among other things, an AK-47 style assault rifle and a shotgun, 10 firearms in a safe in the master bedroom, an emaciated pit bull that was bleeding and chained to a cable in the yard, a second pit bull with scars in a bloody caged area, multiple dog treadmills, a rope with a scale for weighing dogs, and a skin stapler and syringes. A complaint contains allegations that a defendant has committed a crime. Every defendant is presumed to be innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in court. If convicted, Nunez would face a statutory maximum sentence of 10 years in federal prison. This case is part of the federal, state, and local dogfighting and animal abuse task force spearheaded by the United States Attorney's Office for the Central District of California and Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, launched in 2025. The FBI and the United States Marshals Service are investigating this matter. Assistant United States Attorney Dennis Mitchell of the Environmental Crimes and Consumer Protection Section is prosecuting this case.
And we hear it all too much. Firearms, dogs, drugs, dogs, and everything else with the dogs. Like I always tell you, why they gonna ban the dogs when the dogs lead to more arrests? Every time they arrest somebody with dogs, if I do 20 dog fighting arrests over the year, which that's a small amount. If I do 20 dog fighting arrests over the whole year, I can guarantee you 17 of them, maybe 18, 17 of them, maybe 18, gonna have something else outside of the dogs. You very rarely get straight dogs. There's always something else involved. And this dude was a felon in possession of a firearm in California, AK-47. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna go well for him. Like I always say, man, you know where you got it from first. Fresh off the press, Facebook, we trying to give you that news, but they can't give you that news the way the Bay give you that news. I'd give you that news fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. And see, Facebook put it up there. A lot of times they be trying to bite my style and do whoever running them groups be trying to bite me and do all that type of shit, right? But the thing is, I cater to all the brothers and sisters out here, the ones that can't read and all that, because you got brothers that can't read. They don't know what that, or they might see it say, or somebody might tell them and say, oh, about a dog fighting bus, but they can't read the whole thing. And like I said, this ain't to knock nobody. This to make sure everybody on the same page. I don't give a damn if you can read, you can't read, you're a scholar, or whatever you is. You gonna get that news when you're rocking with the Bay, because I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Some gonna like it and some ain't. You know how I do it. You know how I give it. And like I said, uh, I'm not the one to really say just because you have certain things that makes you a dog fighter, because they say this dude has scales, treadmills, and so and so. But it's all about, I'm more on me myself. I'm real big on catching a person in the act. The law enforcement really got out of catching the folk in the act and charging them with certain things after you catch them in the act. Nowadays, they like to lock brothers and sisters up just for having a magazine, just for having a treadmill and having dogs on big chains. The brother got 500 years from, like I said, I don't know the evidence that they showed on TV. The worst thing I seen was maybe a crappy looking yard, some big chains and stuff like that. That was really the worst that I saw. Not worth 500 years. And like I always say, there's no dog fighting situation worth 500 years. No dog fighting situation worth. I don't care if you was rolling them all day long. You know what I'm saying? You could have been fighting dogs all day. That ain't worth no 500 years. So I don't understand why somebody's not getting the federal government to investigate that Paulding, Georgia, for corruption, for something is going on in Paulding, Georgia, to where a brother can catch 500 years for dogs, and you can, and I guarantee you, like I always say, you go look up the pedophiles, you go look up the rapists, and you go look up the child molesters and all that shit in Paulding, Georgia, and tell me how much time they got. They better have 1,000 years, 2,000 years, or something like that. If a brother fighting dogs got 500. There's no way in hell that the child molesters, you got less than 2,000 years if the dude fighting dogs got 500. Somebody from the federal government need to investigate the Paulding, Georgia system. It ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That ain't right at all. And the day we in Los Angeles, don't know it. Don't know what that brother got going on. All I know is he in a boatload of shit. Felony firearm with guns, and he got an AK-47 in California. AKs, I'm not saying the AKs are illegal, because I don't know the California laws. But what I will say is he got more to worry about than them dogs. And they always go down like that. They got the dogs, they got all this other stuff to go along with it. And it just be a big, you gotta plead to what they offering you. You don't really have room to fight nothing. You know what I'm saying? At all. So you know where you got it from first, man. And like I said, if you want me to answer any questions when it comes to this dog stuff, when it comes to bloodlines, when it comes to animal behavior, or any type of training stuff, or anything when it comes to dogs in general, it don't make no difference if it's a pit bull or another breed of dog. If I don't know it, somebody around me know the answer to it. So just hit me up and I'll speak on it on my shows or on a live. If you want to come up on a live and talk about whatever you want to talk about when it comes to these dogs on a live, hit me up on the back streets or hit me up on my messenger. Instagram, like I said, I'm getting better with checking my Instagram messages and stuff like that. But Facebook, you definitely reach me in the Facebook Messenger. So all I can say, man, y'all stay safe out there. The most important thing, y'all stay safe and y'all stay legal. Stay legal. Make sure you dealing with people that's doing the legitimate things with these dogs out here. That's why I always say, man, I don't want my dogs to go to people that's gonna put them in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said on my video this morning, appreciate y'all for watching it. But like I said this morning, these brothers in the dog game, they just like the rappers. All you do is talk about the crimes you commit, and you hate on other people because they don't talk about the crimes they commit. Oh man, this dog, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that. You right, I don't do it. I'm living a legitimate life, enjoying my dogs. Don't give a damn how you feel. Don't give a damn what you say, because you don't matter to me at the end of the day. All you going to be is a article up there on this news. I'm going to have you up on the news talking about it. And then you be mad saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that. But you've been forewarned. You've been forewarned. You know what I'm saying? We trying to preserve this breed. In order to preserve this breed, You can't be looking over your shoulder every 5 minutes. You can't be worrying about who coming in your crib every 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You got to be doing the right things with these dogs. We done seen a brother get locked up for child support. Got a bunch of dogs in the yard, and they give him dog fighting charges. You know, so you got to really be careful. It's a thin line between raising your dogs the right way and what they call dog fighting. And I always stand on this. A person with barrels don't mean they dog fighting. Barrels last longer than them dog houses you go spend $200-$300 for. Some barrels keep your dog warmer than them dog houses that you spend $200-$300 for. You know, I can understand when they say take them off the ground or stuff like that. I can understand all that. You know, but people be liking to profile people off of barrels in their yard, saying if you got barrels that you're a dog fighter, and that's far from the case. You know, far from the case, man. People with magazines don't mean you're fighting dog because you got old school magazines. You may want to look at bloodlines. You may want to look at some of the old stories. You know, it's no different than looking at history from in the history books. The stuff that went down in America in them history books that's in school is no longer legal today. You know, no different than the dogs. No longer legal today. When you look at the stuff that went down in them history books in the schools, and you tell me what's more heinous, you tell me what's more inhumane, the stuff that went down in them history books, or them dog fighting books that these brothers get caught up with. Dog fighting books, they just fighting dogs. Them history books, they talking about how people were doing human beings here in America. You know, but we teach that. But we lock the brothers up for having this and having that. That's why I say I don't really go with the possession of an item. Can say you're a dog fighter. I'm more with the if you get caught in the act, then that's a whole different story. You know, whole different story, man. You can't say a brother a dog fighter just for having a breaking stick or just for having a dog that's, you know, a little on the skinny side. Give them animal cruelty or not having the food or however you're gonna do it, but not dog fighting. You know. So it just is what it is, man. Like I always say, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there. And remember where you got it from first, where you get it from. The best who gonna give it to you fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Your boy PBK9s on the PBC. And we out.